I literally only have like 10 minutes to film this video. My toddler is having breakfast and watching Sesame Street, and this is now the 12th time I've tried to film this. So literally the last time I'm going to attempt filming this video because I am over it. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan and I am documenting my second pregnancy. I wanted to do a quick update on my 32-week ultrasound to check my placental positioning, my 32-week midwife appointment, and then my weeks 32 and 33 pregnancy update. I am today 32 weeks and 6 days pregnant, so I'm just at the end of 33 weeks. So in terms of symptoms, this was a pretty substantial couple of weeks. I have noticed a decrease in appetite. I have had to pee constantly, and that's probably because I have started measuring my water intake and making sure I drink at least 2 liters of water every day. And the reason for that is because at the beginning of week 32, so I was like 31 plus 2 days, I had one of the worst episodes of Braxton Hicks I've had this whole pregnancy. And if you've watched any of my videos up until now, you'll know I've been talking about having pretty constant Braxton Hicks this pregnancy. And when I measured how much water I was actually drinking in a day, it was scary how short I was falling from the amount you're supposed to drink, like even just not pregnant, let alone being pregnant. So ever since I started drinking at least 2 liters of water a day, I have not had, I think, any Braxton Hicks, maybe a couple very small ones. So that's really good news. Kind of shitty on one hand because it probably means that all the Braxton Hicks I've had up until this point were due to chronic dehydration, but whatever. But anyway, I've had to pee all the time, and I have noticed a pretty distinctive change in my belly. It's much bigger, and my bump goes from being high to low. So like baby's starting to bob up and down in my pelvis. I've had a couple days where it really looked like my bump had completely dropped, but a couple days later it sort of pops back up into my like upper abdominal area. Heartburn has been really, really bad, especially on the days that my bump is higher, so that makes a lot of sense. And I have been experiencing an increased amount of shortness of breath. In terms of weight gain, I have not weighed myself yet. I'm going to do that tomorrow when I'm officially 33 weeks pregnant. But when I was 32 plus 0, I weighed myself and I had gained 0.7 kilograms in 1 week. And if you watched my last video, I talked about how in weeks 30 and 31, I only gained 0.1 and 0.2 kilograms in those weeks. So I more than doubled 2 weeks worth of weight gain in 1 week. And it could be because baby's growing, but I think honestly it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm now adequately hydrated, and I wasn't adequately hydrated in those previous weeks. So I think things are starting to level out, but I'm still on track to gain about 30 pounds. And I think that's like 14 kilograms in this pregnancy when I follow my weight gain curve. So hopefully I can stick to that. In terms of workouts, I have not been able to go to the gym hardly at all. I think I've gone 2 or 3 times in the past 14 days. And that's because I'm still home with a sick toddler, but she's finally getting better. Next week will be week 5 of us dealing with all kinds of stuff. But I think she's responding to the medications that she's on now, and we can finally get her back to school and I can get back to work. And that also means I can start taking better care of my body in the mornings before I go into the office, which is really important for me at this point. I have, however, still been walking the dogs. So about 5 times a week, I will take our dogs on a 6-kilometer hike in the woods behind our house. So I'm at least doing that. And I am also now doing daily pelvic opening yoga stretches. So the ones that I'm focusing on are child's pose, and cat-cow pelvic tilts. I'm doing the butterfly stretch. I'm doing the yogi squat. I'm doing hip flexor stretches. And then I'm doing just general hamstring stretches where I reach over like this to kind of not stretch my round ligaments, but just kind of give them a little activation, because I do notice that one side of my body is tighter than the other. So I just want to make sure I'm balanced there. And I can also say that over the past 2 weeks, I have not had any pubic bone pain when I wake up in the morning. I've talked for the past few weeks about how some mornings when I woke up, for those first few minutes I was out of bed and upright and walking around, I'd have a terribly achy pubic bone. And I was afraid I was getting symphysis pubis dysfunction and that it was just going to get worse. So I held off on doing any kind of stretches or yoga or anything like that until I got to about this point in my pregnancy, because I didn't want to aggravate the situation. But ironically, ever since I've started stretching and stopped going to the gym so much, I have not had any pubic bone pain whatsoever. So that is really good news that I'm happy to share. I think that's it now for my 32 and 33 weeks update. I can't think of anything else. On Tuesday of this week, when I was 32 plus 1, I had my midwife appointment, and I believe that my blood pressure was 90/65, which is low, but it's also normal for me. My blood sugars were 6.3. My hemoglobin was 122, and I forget the units these are measured in, I'm really sorry. The baby's heart rate was 140, and I got my flu shot, and I don't normally get a flu shot, usually because I get the flu before the flu shot is even available, but I don't think I've had the flu this year yet. I did have a really bad stomach bug when I was, what was I? Like 22 weeks or something like that? I can't remember, 18 weeks pregnant maybe? But I don't know what that was. But I get the flu shot in my pregnancies just to be on the safe side, especially when I'm having winter babies. So I did do that. And I think that was it for my midwife appointment. My next appointment is in 3 weeks, so I'll be 35 plus 1. And then after that, it's every 2 weeks until I'm 39 weeks, and then it goes to weekly until I deliver. And I can't recall if it's next appointment at 35 weeks or if it's my 37-week appointment that I get to talk to my midwife about my birth plan, which I'm one of those people that doesn't like to call it a birth plan. I like to call it like a birth wish list. Kind of like if everything goes perfectly according to my desires, these are the things I would like to have happen or have access to or not have happen. So I thought maybe in a couple weeks I would share the things I plan on having written down on my förlossningsbrev, birth plan. Okay, so that is the midwife appointment and my pregnancy update. Now we get to the scan, and I'm just going to say really, really quickly, I went into the scan so nervous. Of course, you guys have heard me obsess about this since I was 16 weeks pregnant and found out I had like a placenta previa situation developing. But ironically, the past few weeks leading up to this scan, I suddenly wanted to cancel my scan. I wanted to reschedule it until I was like 36 weeks. I just wanted to keep living in this state of blissful ignorance I was in, where I didn't have to believe anything was wrong, because I've been asymptomatic since like my little bleeding episode when I was 16 weeks. So I taught myself to believe that I was just one of the like 99% of women whose placenta moved out of the way. And I just believed that. And I put myself into this bubble of comfort, and I really found a lot of reassurance in that bubble. So anyway, I really didn't want to go to the scan, but I decided I had to. So hold on, I gotta check on my toddler. Okay, screaming naked toddler could be coming in here at any moment. Anyway, so I decided to just go in and face the music with the scan, and I went in with the presumption that I was likely going to be told that my placenta had moved, but it hadn't moved enough, so we would need to reschedule a follow-up in a few weeks. But then, like, the realistic, pessimistic side of me was really preparing to be told that it hadn't moved at all, or I had really low odds of it moving enough, and that, you know, worst case scenario was sort of like facing me down the road. But sure enough, I went and I did the transvaginal, and my placenta had moved so far out of the way, away from my cervix, that she couldn't even find it on the transvaginal scan. So I was in a state of blissful shock when she told me that. And we did an abdominal ultrasound just for her to be able to locate where it was, to make sure she wasn't just missing it on the transvaginal. And sure enough, it was well out of the way and nothing I need to worry about anymore throughout this pregnancy. So that was 16 weeks of, I don't want to say hell, but it was really a teachable moment for me to learn to let go and realize that I cannot control everything, you know, and of course I know that, but it was really, really, really hard for me to carry on optimistically in my pregnancy, knowing that there was this thing that could dictate how my pregnancy will end without me being able to do anything about it to encourage a better outcome, or at least an outcome that I would have rather had. So I'm thankful for the experience, but I am so glad I do not have to worry about it anymore. And she also told me that baby is head down and he's facing my right side, but sort of toward the back. So he's not fully anterior, he's not posterior, he's head down and just kind of like looking diagonally toward the back of my right hip. She told me that my cervix is 3 centimeters thick, which is normal. And she told me that my amniotic fluid is at a 50. And it took me a while to research what that meant online. She said the normal range is 20 to 80. And I finally figured out what it meant, but now I forget what it is. But basically it's measuring the deepest pocket of amniotic fluid she could find in millimeters. So in centimeters, the normal range is 2 to 8, and mine would be a 5. It's like deepest vertical maximum. I don't know. I totally forget what it is, but I thought that was interesting because I had never heard of amniotic fluid measured in that sort of way before. So that was that. My scans came out totally normal. Baby is still a boy. Everything is good. Thank God. I will say that, was it yesterday or the day before? 2 days ago, I did have a scare where I thought the baby had somehow flipped breech, because every time I feel fetal hiccups, I feel them way deep down by my pubic bone, and sometimes I even feel them in my colon. It's the weirdest sensation. Like sometimes when he has the hiccups, I don't feel them anywhere except in my butt. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. But 2 days ago when I woke up, I distinctly felt his hiccups in my upper right side, right under my rib cage, and I panicked. I started doing all the spinning babies stretches and movements before I even had breakfast, and then I went on this huge old almost 10K walk, and I was like, you know, trying to shift my pelvis around. I was so scared because I know it still can happen. If a baby can flip from breech to head down up until like what, 38 weeks, then it can go the other way around. So I had this very humbling experience where I was like, oh my God, I didn't even plan for this to happen. You know, I thought I was in the clear once I got the good news on my placenta, but you know, there are other things that can happen that are out of your control. So I've been very, very diligent now about doing my stretches and exercises, like I said before, just to encourage proper fetal positioning. But that is the end of my long overdue update. And really quick, just to loop it into this video, I thought I would do a quick tour of my baby's closet and sort of our setup for when he arrives, where he's gonna sleep, because I don't really know where to fit that in any of my other videos, because it's just gonna be like 5 minutes, so hang on a second. Real quick baby closet breakdown. We have newborn to 6-month clothing here, and these two last pieces are 0 to 9-month little fleece sleep sacks. And then this organizer here, we have our wipes, our diapers. We have just simple long-sleeved white onesies with some pants, muslin burp cloths or swaddle cloths. We have socks here, and then basic toiletries here like diaper rash cream and windy pipes and cotton balls and things like that. The rest of the stuff is organized in my bathroom. And then we have changing mat covers here and some blankets. And then this is our changing mat, which I'm just going to throw onto the bed and change him here because we don't have room in my room to get like any kind of changing table. I thought about getting one of those fold down ones that like clips up onto the wall, but I don't know how safe those are. Anyway, the laundry basket is going to go down here and the waste basket is going to go down there. But for the time being, before baby is born, I'm using this as storage for things like our DockATot, one of our baby carriers, and we've got like my nursing pillow there, just like baby gear that I'm not using yet. But once the baby comes, I'm going to get rid of that stuff and move these two things down there. And then we have this cute little owl light, like this little lamp from IKEA. It's really cute. I'm going to plug it in and put it in there. This drawer we're using for extra diapers, other baby carriers I have, like my soft wraps. I have some other like burp cloths and stuff in there. And then this drawer, I have a bunch of clothing that I took out of my daughter's storage. That's like unisex or blue or boy themed, whatever, that I have already washed and bleached and stuff, and I just have it stored in there. So those are mainly just storage for the time being. But the things I'm really excited about are these little clothes. So for the first 3 months, or at least I guess however long he lasts in them, I have a ton of these little sleeper gowns. The best ones are from Carter's. And they're so amazing for those first months. They make diaper changes at night so easy. And like this is a tight cinch at the bottom, so baby can't kick this gown up. So it stays on them, and I just throw socks on. And you can swaddle them in these at night. And when you're changing diapers, you just roll it up, change the diaper, and then roll it back down. It's super convenient. And the sleeves have these no scratch fold over covers here, so you can fold this part over the sleeve and baby can't scratch himself. So I highly recommend these. I love them. And then once he gets bigger, I have a ton of these 3 to 6 month footy pajamas that I bought on next.com. And if you are unfamiliar with Next, I so cannot recommend them highly enough. Their quality is excellent. Their prints are so cute. And they've just got such cute clothing, even for boys, and their prices are really, really good. So I just got a bunch of like 3 packs of these little footy pajamas. And then my mom sent me a couple Carter's things here. I love this one. This one says little brother, and then it has these monster feet. How cute is that? Oh, I love it. And then I have some like fleece stuff to put him in. So that is our baby closet. Oh, okay, one other thing. So everyone has like their one controversial baby item that they have. I don't know if you'd consider a DockATot controversial. I love them for naps when I'm awake and supervising baby. But the one controversial thing that I think I did buy was this. I bought my own baby scale. And to be very, very honest, I am so excited about having this. I got it off of Amazon. And if you haven't watched my breastfeeding videos, you might not understand why I bought it, but I had a baby that suffered from severe weight loss, and my breastfeeding journey just turned me into a psychotic person. So I know a lot of pediatricians and midwives and stuff recommend you don't get a baby scale because you can get kind of obsessive over it. But I just want that reassurance of knowing that my baby is getting enough to eat from me when he is born and breastfeeding. So I bought my own scale so that I could do a couple weighted feeds and just get a real idea of how much milk he is getting from me during like those early feeds, you know, in those first months, just to make sure that everything is going properly. So that's my one thing, and it's there. So, but anyway, in terms of sleeping arrangements, my husband is going to be sleeping in another room for the first few months, and this is just going to be a mommy and baby den. And we're going to get rid of that side table, and we're going to get rid of this little stacker. We're going to move the bed to the wall so that it opens up a lot of space here, and then baby will be sleeping in a bedside bassinet here. And then when he gets older, we're going to move him to a crib here at the foot of the bed, and then we're going to need to buy a new house. So we're going to look to move in 2020 once he's about 1 year old, because he's going to need his own room. So until we buy a new house, we're leaving my daughter in her room. We're going to give the baby our room, and we're probably just going to build a Murphy bed in our living room, and my husband and I will just sleep there until we finally move and get like a 3-bedroom house or a 4-bedroom house, whatever. So that is our baby quote-unquote nursery. And then just to round out this video, my baby bump is here. Obviously, it's on the higher side today. And yeah, it's getting big. It's like pretty solid. I'm starting to notice I'm putting on quite a bit of weight here. This is where I like store, this is where I store fat. It's like right here on this muffin top, and I'm starting to collect quite a bit of like softness here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but otherwise it's just the belly. And oh, another thing, I am starting to now see a real linea negra. So I have it from my sternum down to my pubic bone. It's really light. In this lighting, you can actually see it a lot better, but it's definitely starting to make its appearance. But that is the 33 weeks baby number 2 belly, and I really have nothing else to share. So stay tuned. My next video will be our baby name reveal. We have a baby name. We just want to, let's see, there we go. We just want to wait a couple more days to make sure that it fits well and we're good with it. But probably next week I'll throw up some cute creative video about what we're going to be naming our baby. So if you're interested, like and subscribe, or come back in a few days and check it out, okay? Talk to y'all later. Bye!